Let's talk rainbow stenciling. Hi, my name is Marla and this is Mad About Cards and Crafts. Let's get to the products I'm using today. There are 3 stencils, 2 from the Crafters Workshop, 1 from the Greetery, and I'll be using Pink Fresh Studio inks. What I love about the Pink Fresh Studio inks is that they come in families of 4. So if you want reds, you're going to get 4 reds, 4 oranges, etc. And each of the colors that are in the lines match or coordinate together. So if I take the first cube from each rainbow order family, those are all going to go together. If I take the second one in each of those color families, they are all going to coordinate very well together. It makes it very easy for me to do rainbow stenciling. I will start with the lightest of each of those ink cubes. So I'm taking a pink and a peachy orange, a yellow, a green, a blue, and then I will go in with a purple, and I take the lighter of the blue families to use instead, except for the very last card I will take one of the darker blue families. So these are all the first lightest colors in each of the packs, and I am going to use this mini burst stencil, and we are going to show how you can get a more intense look by shifting your stencil. So I'm coming in with that lightest color. I did spray the back of my stencil with the Pixie spray, and I had reported earlier a couple months ago that my Pixie spray was just spraying air, but now that it's warmed up a little bit, maybe it was too cool in my basement for it, because now it's working beautifully and I had no problems getting my stencils to stick. So I was very happy about that and glad that I tried using it again. So temperature probably matters with it. As you can see, I'm using those lighter colors with my blending brush, and I am just going over the stencil lightly. One of the things that I like about the blending brush is that it doesn't give that deep, intense color. See how pretty? Now I'm going to shift it to the right, and I'm going to come in with the secondary colors in each of those same color families. So it's a deeper pink, a deeper peach, etc. And I am going to get more interest on this panel, and when you see a close-up of it, you'll be able to see the shifting and how it just made it more more like Star Wars. That's like my favorite, that's my favorite analytical thing. Like when we're driving in the snow and we're having a blizzard, it looks like we're at warp speed. And that's kind of what I think this panel looks like. I just like that secondary color in there as opposed to having more of the white space. I just think it creates more of an interest, and it made it easy for me to quickly finish these cards. I didn't really have anything that I needed to do besides put a sentiment on there. I do use one stamp on one of the panels, but it's not one of the ones that I directly stenciled to. So for this particular one, I'm taking the second color in each of the color families, and I'm not really going at a diagonal. I'm going, you know, kind of doing a little bit of a curve on there. And I will come in and do that same shifting again, but I will use the same colors, so the same colors that you see on the screen right now, and I am going to reverse the rainbow order. So now I'm going to get ink blending with different colors, and that's going to remove some of that white space, so it's going to create a little more depth of color and a little bit more interest. So starting in that upper left hand corner, I brought in that purple, and now I'm going to bring the blue, and so on and so forth. And so when I create these cards, when I finish them, they're all going to be on Nina 110-pound card bases. I don't show me putting the card bases on, nor do I show some of the dimensional tape because for time purposes. I just wanted to show the technique and then show how I quickly put the cards together. Here's a quick look at those two finished. I'm going to spritz this with some water. I'm coming back in with Nina 80-pound cardstock. Going to lay this down. I'm going to get a very light impression, but there's a third panel that I can use. This is Nitwit from the Greetery, and it comes in a 3-pack. There's a solid, and then there are these two that can overlay on each other, or you can use them separately. I chose to obviously use the two stencils together. So I'm going to start by putting my first colors down. I'll do the pink, orange, yellow, and green, and then I will lay the secondary stencil over the top of it and finish it off with the blue and the purple. I'd like to welcome all of my new subscribers. I've had quite a few recently. I want to thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you are not a subscriber, I would love for you to click the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and leave a comment in the box below. Let me know, guys, do you like rainbow cards? Do you like stenciling? I personally don't make a whole lot of rainbow cards, but I do love stenciling. I use stencils quite frequently in my card making, and so that's why I wanted to show how you can stretch your stencils just a little bit to get a different look. Now, I didn't quite line this up perfectly, so it's a little bit off in some spots. You'll see at the end, but I still think that the card came out beautiful. And I love, this is the third in the color families, and I love the depth of color that I'm getting from this. I am going to mix that pink and or not pink, but the purple and the blue in the middle, and look how pretty that panel is. So we're coming to the watercolored panel that I lightly spritzed. That is, I think, a Hero Arts. This is one of the first stamps that I purchased. I am going to take a blue and I am going to ink that up, and then I'm just going to lay that watercolored panel down, and you'll be able to see the peekaboo of the light color that I put behind it. So I still have that stenciling, but it's very subtle. And then I'll come back and finish this card in a minute. I'm going to use those three backgrounds and start with this heart. This is an MFT Stitched Heart, and I am going to do a little bit of ink blending. And here's what I'm talking about with those brushes. So I'm getting a very light application, and it doesn't matter. Even though I have that harsh line right there, I'll be able to cover it up. But it doesn't matter how hard I ink blend with those brushes, I'm not going to get a whole lot of depth of color. So I'll take this Greetery word happy that you've seen me use before, and I will stack those up so I get a little dimension on that word and it just stands out a little bit more. And then I will come back in with the Tim Holtz blending sponge with the tool, and I'm going to get, you'll see how much deeper color you get if you choose to use the sponges. So the sponges are a little bit more hard to ink blend with, but they do give you much better depth, and I really wanted that on this particular heart. I'll tear off a piece of that paper towel so I don't get my finger marks on it like I am right now, and see how much deeper it is. And I just like it because I'm using it on that card panel right there with those strong colors. So I do put some fun foam on the back of that heart. The panel has nothing behind it, and I will glue that panel directly to that card base. This is from Honeybee Stamps. If you haven't went over and checked their retirement section, I would recommend that you do so. This Celebrate set is fantastic. It's one that's going away, but it has lots of sentiments and words that you can use, and I would highly recommend you taking a look at that and some of the other ones over there. Here is that mini burst panel. Look at how pretty that is. Look at the dimensional colors that you're getting. And I am taking this Memory Box Cloud Thanks die. It's an older one, but it's still available, so I have it linked in the box below. And I am going to do some inlaying. So I will lay that cloud where I want it, and then I will lay the word thanks down, and then I will put the pieces back in the middle of the A, the K, and the S. All of those will be in white. And then off camera, I do add foam to the back of that cloud to give that cloud a little bit of lift and interest off of the panel. I absolutely love this card. I think that this is probably my favorite, and I love that thanks cloud die. I just think it's really pretty. So I'm coming in with that panel that we did the stamping over, and I don't know why I had it there, but this thanks is actually going to go on to our third mini Harlequin card base. So I did some ink blending or inking with the yellow ink. I'm going to put some pink on the word thanks. Now I am not going to pop up the cloud on this particular one. I will lay this flat to the panel, so the cloud and the thanks are both going to be flat to the panel, but I will come in with some fun foam and I will put it on the back of that Harlequin piece. Now you see I have a lot of white space at the top, and I don't like that, so I'm going to come in with my guillotine trimmer and I'm going to trim this down to 4 by 5 1/4, and then I will center it on my card base. So I will glue this down, and then we will start on our final card. On our final card, I'm using Tim Holtz butterfly stamp. I will have it listed in the box below. I think it's called Perspective, and I will stamp that in a very bold green. Again, the color will be on the screen and linked below. I believe it's emerald. And I will glue that flat to the panel along with the sentiment, and the sentiment comes from Waffle Flower Sweet Sentiments, and that's another sentiments set that I would highly recommend. I think it has a lot of really fun sentiments in there, and it's one of my favorite sets to use. So I wanted something just a little bit stronger and bolder, and I came in with this deeper ink, and this will lighten up as it dries. It's not as dark as it's showing right there, but I will use my Brother Scan and Cut, and I will cut that out, and then I will just, as I said, glue it down to the panel. So I hope you liked this video today. I really wanted to show you how you can stretch your stencils. There's a lot of people that don't have a lot of supplies out there. I don't know if you're one of them, but I thought that I would do something that would help them get a little bit more use out of what they do have. This is really fun. Just doing that little bit of shifting really made a difference in the look, changing up the color combinations that you use, doing things in reverse order instead of, you know, shifting and coming back with the same colors. There's a lot that you can do to create interest, and I hope that this inspired you. I'm going to show you a final look of the cards that I created today. Leave me a comment in the box below. Let me know which one is your favorite. Which of the 4 do you like best? And I appreciate, as always, you watching. You guys are the best. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.